You won't go that far.
Hello
I'm the
and
bomb.
welcome. Welcome to the latest edition of the BOFA Sports Webcast. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and it's time to breathe again. So,
Did you forget where you were at?
What'd you say?
Did you forget what you had to say?
No, because this stuff isn't rehearsed. So you just
Yeah, I might have crappy internet because I am at a hotel today.
It's all good. Yes, Patrick's on a road trip right now, so good. Thanks for joining. Even though you was on the road trip, so it's still good to have you on here. But lots to cover tonight, and I guess we will start off with. I want to make sure I said everything. Yeah, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. It is time to breathe again, and yeah. So I just had to make sure that I said everything. What's going on
so
here?
Bright in my room?
Yeah, huh?
Why is it so bright in here?
I don't know. Patrick, fix the light. Oh, hey, your boy Dominic is back. Patrick.
Yeah, Dominic. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he hates me. And so,
yeah, no, that's my boy right there. Give me a second. Let me turn off let me figure these lights out.
All right.
Stupid in here.
Do your thing. Good to see you as well, Aaron. So we are going to start off with the Final Four. All right. Okay. Thanks, Dominic. There you go. He doesn't hate me. We just disagree.
I just strongly dislike everything you say. That's all.
Yeah. So let's get started with the Final Four from the men's and women's. So, of course, the men's saw the Florida Gators win. Very thrilling game against the Houston Cougars. 65-63 was the final score. And the Final Four as a whole, like all three of those games were great. And you and I, Patrick, we had Florida winning the tournament from the beginning. And I think this was a Patrick acting like he never gets these things wrong. But
I never get anything wrong. You know, my bracket was at 80% this year. Not nothing like last year, but you know, I got it right. That's all that matters.
All right. I was at 90%. It's okay. But I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
Okay. So but Florida throughout the run just showed how many different ways they can win. And that's what we were looking at when we did those brackets from the beginning, along with looking at some of the games that were leading up to the tournament, the regular season, and of course the conference tournaments. And at the end of the game last night against Houston, Florida out Houston. They played tough defense down the stretch, and they were able to make enough plays on offense. Big shots from Walter Clayton Jr., free throws was big as well, and they were able to carry it on through. So for me, I think the best team won. I know there were a lot of people who had Northwestern. Love it, Aaron. All right, we will bookmark that. We will bookmark that.
Yeah, we're gonna bookmark that, and I'm going Fresno State.
And so, but yeah, this was it was a great tournament to me. And I know people want to talk about, well, there was a lack of upsets, and it wasn't as much March Madness, I guess, as what we're used to or become accustomed to. But I guess what you get from that is you get what you have, like what you saw in the Final Four, all four number one seeds being in there. And yes, Dominic, you are right. Will Richard was huge in that first half.
Especially that first half, dude. Whew.
I mean, Clayton didn't score in that first half. The front court looked like they were struggling with Houston's physicality, which is what Houston does. Houston comes at you, they throw bodies on you, and they're gonna make you uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to deal with that if you're going to win. And that's what Florida was able to do. They made those adjustments. They brought their own physicality, and they were able to turn it out. And Aaron is happy because Hurley lost. Did not want to see Dan Hurley three-peat as the champion. But yeah, I mean, Patrick, I mean, what do you have anything to add, really? I mean, I think just I feel like the best team won there.
I mean, you really kind of covered everything, especially with how Florida out Houston. I mean, look, I'm not taking anything away from that Houston team. They were phenomenal all season. But I mean, when it boils down to it, Florida found ways to win, and you know, we talked about this earlier on my way up here to Nashville. Florida has multiple ways of winning. If they're struggling at the 3-point line, or Clayton is struggling, you got Richardson who will pick it up, or they'll run their offense through their bigs. They rely on their defense. They have so many ways to win. And with Houston really boggles down on their defense. And if Houston's going to make a run to a national championship, they're going to have to get multi-dimensional. And I mean, it's just it really does boil down to, like you said, the best team won, and the best team was Florida.
So Aaron brings up a point about the last possession there. So Houston, the one thing I will say about Houston, like you said, they have to make just a little bit more of, I guess, get a little bit better, particularly on the offensive end. And here's where I'm coming from with that. Aaron brought it up on the last possession. Sometimes on offense, you need some quick hitters. You need something that's going to get you a basket, like maybe 10, 15 seconds into the shot clock. And a lot of the times with Houston's possessions, unless there is a situation where they have to have a quick hitter, like that basket they scored against Purdue in the Sweet 16 to carry them into the Elite Eight, Houston is going to milk that shot clock. It is going to be a long, long time before they get a shot up. And in that last possession, Dominic, I don't. Duke was good, and I think because Duke was more complete on the offensive end, maybe it could have been. I mean, gosh, it was a tough game for Florida against Houston, but I just think Florida was the better team. I think what would have happened is the depth that Florida was bringing would have wore down Cooper Flag, just like what you saw when they played Auburn, and that depth they had in the front court wore down Janai Broome. And if those guards, the depth that Florida has, the guard play they have, I think that would have started to take effect on the Duke as well. The thing that Houston does have is some big guards, so they can kind of take what Florida's guards are doing on the defensive end, maybe a little bit better. Duke's guards aren't really that physical. Like that makes sense. Like, they have a lot of skill, you know, they have the skill, but the pressure and just the wearing down, like over the course of the game, I think would have worn Duke down at the end as well. So yeah, I think Florida would have still won that game. It would have been close probably, because this Duke team was really good, but I still think Florida would win. What about you, Patrick? Do you agree?
I agree. Like I mentioned earlier, Florida has the ability to beat you in multiple different ways. So if Houston likes to slow the pace of the game down, Florida can match that. Duke likes to speed the game up a little bit more. Florida can match that. So when I look at Florida, based on what I saw as a whole, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I looked at Duke and I got to give a lot of credit to Cooper Flag, man. Like, I watched him throughout the season, and he was a great player. But until I saw him in the tournament, I didn't think Duke was going to be that good of a team. When I saw him get into the tournament and I saw how Flag played against, like, outside of ACC competition, he was just a much better player than I give him credit for. But I don't think that would have changed what Florida does. Like I said, Florida's multidimensional, man. They can they'll run it with you because they got the depth. I mean, they showed that when they played teams like Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama. These teams like to run the ball, and Florida matches it. So even if they played Duke, Cooper Flag was going to see probably 3 or 4 different looks on different guards. Florida can throw out 11 people. Duke can only throw out about 7 or 8. Eventually somebody's going to get tired, and I just don't see it. I don't think Florida was going to be beat this year, no matter who they played.
Yeah, and so real quick, back to Aaron's comment about the possession. In that situation, I think you have to get a shot. Patrick, you and I talked about this when you were on your way out to Nashville. In that possession, I think you have to get a shot up at least with 7 seconds. And you have to give your offense a chance to get that rebound. And Houston was having success on the offensive glass. So you have to somewhere like that offense has to start probably in between 10 and 15 seconds. And whatever motion you're going to run, that's not a problem with Calvin Sampson going for the win. That's not the issue we have there. We get if you want to go for the win, and you may say, if we go for a win now, then we won't have to worry about potentially going into overtime. And then that's when some Florida depth could still kind of wear you down, even going into the overtime. So if you can win it now, go ahead and try to win it now. The possession was just poor because it was slow developing. Florida had a lot to do with that because they were blitzing. They were blitzing every pick and roll. They were extending the defense to where the guards really couldn't get any type of penetration even to go for any type of a drive or kick. And then that last shot where Sharp was about to shoot and Clayton just flashed and challenged and he had to basically drop the ball. That was it. It was game over at that point.
And on top of that, when you look at Florida's guards, they were so well at mixing, going under the screen and going over the screen. I mean, they mixed it, and it was really hard for Houston to dissect a defense that was really starting to match everything they were doing on defense. I mean, like you said earlier, Florida out Houston, and that's the best way to put it. Florida was just fast, and they didn't stop. They were relentless. I mean, even when they got the block on the fast break, and Florida's good with transition points. There's another way they beat you. I mean, Houston doesn't transition that well, and we talked about that earlier. They don't transition well, and Florida does. I mean, Florida was just a dominant team this year, and I like I said, I don't see anybody I didn't see anybody taking them down this year.
Just think about this, Patrick, and for everybody else who is watching. 40 minutes is in a college basketball game. Houston led for almost 39 of those minutes. Houston had the pace where anybody would want it, or where they would want it in the mid-60s. This was a custom-made Houston special here. They did it like Houston, everything Houston would have wanted to do. Take Walter Clayton Jr. away in the first half to where you hold him to 0 points, but you're still only up 3 at the end of the first half. And then you have everything that happened in the second half still in Houston's pace. You're still leading the game, but Florida still finds a way to win that. And just going back to your point, Patrick, I just feel Florida still had a gear that other teams couldn't quite reach. And that's what, and they did what they had to in these styles of games they were facing to win. And they weren't really coming with their best. The teams they played against had a lot to do with them not being at their best, but they still just found a way to win. and that's why, like, to us, they're just they were it. They were the team that was going to win it all this year. Just looking at what they were bringing, good guard play, big man depth, backcourt depth, toughness, just the best skill, just the best combination of everything involved. So congrats to Florida on the men's end, and on the women's end. Now, Aaron, I don't know. Let's see what Dominic asked. Let's see. He said, kind of off topic, but who do you think is winning the NBA lottery? Kind of think the 76ers. I mean, it's possible. Look at the Hawks. Sorry, Patrick. Look, Dominic, I really, it's hard to say right now. I mean, I know the Wizards are going to have a good shot at winning the lottery. Philly, it always seems like Philly comes back to tanking. Like, I don't know what it is about Philly, but they always
Philly and tanking is just like a marriage made in paradise, dude.
Yeah,
it always frustrates me because it's always Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're not winning Super Bowls or they're not winning NBA championships, they're tanking. There's no gray area.
No. Either it's literally championship or bust in Philadelphia. But yeah, on the women's side, got to give credit. I think it was Aaron last week who said he didn't want to see Gino Auriemma win it. Sorry, Aaron. That UConn team they were nasty. They were, man. That defense, they were good on South Carolina in that championship game was off the charts. And then the scoring they had, this UConn team was good, man. And they deserved every bit of that championship. And I am happy also for Paige Beckers too, who I will always say. Yeah. And you know what we talked about? I'll always say Paige Beckers was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark was Caitlin Clark. She just had that ACL injury that took her out, and people probably kind of forgot about Paige and how good she really is. And all the credit to Caitlin Clark. I mean, look, Caitlin Clark took that mantle, ran with it, and is a beast. And she has carried women's basketball to a whole nother level that we haven't really seen before. But hey, Paige was that. She was that before Caitlin Clark.
Next year, Paige will help that. I mean, there's a good chance this girl is going to go number one. So she'll be in the WNBA, and she's going to help Caitlin. Caitlin will have some trouble with her.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be fun because, like, I mean, Caitlin Clark is the reason why I started watching the WNBA. So, I mean, Paige is a beast, man. She is a beast. So I can't wait to see where she goes and who she plays for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just looking at the totality of the Final Four in that tournament. Look, South Carolina, what Dawn Staley has done down there to build that program is phenomenal. She'll be back. Yeah, and so they'll be back. They just
need a big hitter. They need a big hitter in their lineup, and they just didn't have it this year.
Yeah, it was. They struggled on the perimeter. They didn't have the shooting that they had even last year. And UConn just said, "We'll pack that paint and even get out there to the shooters." I mean, they were everywhere defensively, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
and they were because South Carolina didn't really have the shooting this year. It made them a little bit more one-dimensional in terms of where to guard. You could sag down on the paint a little bit, and it was going to take a team like UConn to do that. I mean, even as it is, I mean, South Carolina made it to the championship game, so it's not like they didn't have the skill or they didn't have the talent to get there. But
or the coaching,
or the coaching.
Obviously, they got coaching. So,
yeah.
Hey, look, Dominic, I'll say this: at least the Hawks can win. Braves cannot do crap. I know it's early in the season, Charles. I know you always say that, but my God, it took them. They were 0-7 before they won one. So Braves suck.
Wow.
They better put something together. I told you. I was like, look, after they went 0-3, I was like, sell the whole team. Like, ship them off to Birmingham or something. I don't care. Get them out of Atlanta.
This is so 2015 Patrick right now. You're just tanking and just
yeah. Phillies look really good, dude. Like they look really good.
So they took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers over the weekend, and the Dodgers they're here in DC right now. And look, the Nats, they won yesterday, and they're winning right now against the Dodgers. I can tell you what, that and Patrick and for everybody else, I did get to go to the game yesterday when the Dodgers came or started the 3-game set. And look, that Nationals team, they have a lot of young talent they can work with there. So they're going to be...
Dude, I like the comment you sent me. You said, dude, Dodgers travel well. And I can tell you that because when Ohtani hit a home run, it was like the whole stadium exploded.
Good. I thought I was in LA. I really did. I thought I was in Los Angeles when Ohtani hit that homer yesterday. Like the cheer that was let out there, like all those fans behind the Dodgers dugout was I don't think there was no national fans there at all. I mean, it was all Dodgers fans. They travel well. But the Nationals, they're coming in here, they're scrapping, and they have a lot of young talent. It's going to be an exciting team to watch. Let's see. Dominic said, I think postseason we'll have to see with the Phillies last season. It wasn't the best. Yeah, the Phillies ran into a hot Mets team in the postseason last year. The Mets were starting to peak at the right time, and Francisco Lindor had every clutch hit you could think of.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation was, he was going to come through probably with a home run. And so Patrick, first, number one, stop panicking. All right. We're 2 weeks into
look, dude, look, I'll do what ESPN does, right? Okay, look, if the season ended today, the Braves wouldn't even be in. I'm just saying.
It's a great thing the season does not end when it begins. And so man, that is unfair, Dominic. The Nationals are not like the Wizards. The Wizards can never put it together. Like the Wizards are
they can have all the talent in the world and they still can't play together.
Yeah. The Nats at least have a World Series in recent memory. They did win one in 2019, and then they just decided to basically sell everybody off. All the talent that they had on that team, like Juan Soto and some of these other guys, they said, we'll go ahead and we'll trade them and we'll start to rebuild through the farm system. And now a lot of that young talent is playing at that level, at the major league level, and they're taking the lumps. And obviously you're going to have sometimes you're facing some good pitching out there. You're going to free swing sometimes and not look too good. But they're coming on through. Let's see, because of Juan Soto. Then they said, let's put our team in the garbage can for the next 10 plus years. And you know what? Look, at least
girls agree on something.
Yeah, and look, if they're at least going to put them in the garbage can, then yeah, just go ahead, just go full dumpster with it. Don't sit here and mess around with we're going to be 80, 85 wins. We're not quite good enough to compete, but we're not quite bad enough to start to rebuild and get a draft pick and start to rebuild that farm system. So yeah, look, go ahead. Like you said, look, let's go to the landfill. If we're going to be trash, let's trash it. Like let's start over. And hey, Patrick, what do you always say? Gatorade bottles, coolers.
Gatorade bottles, gone. Gatorade packs, gone. Bench, gone. Turf, rip it up, gone. Get rid of it all.
Start it all over. Oh my goodness. So yes. But real quick, just to sum everything up with the college basketball season. Congrats to the Florida men. Congrats to the UConn women. for representing, doing their things. Dominic, I don't think so. I think the Nats will actually I think they'll actually contend a little bit next year. With that young talent, you said the Sandlot.
You know who's going to be at the Sandlot?
Who, the Braves? Stop. Stop. So congrats to the Florida men and the UConn women for representing and winning the championships in those respective tournaments. Staying in Washington, we're going to go over to the NHL here, and we'll talk about Alex Ovechkin, who scored his 895th goal on Sunday against the New York Islanders up there in New York. So it breaks the great one, Wayne Gretzky's record. Let's see what Dominic says here. I think one more season and Braves going to get rid of. What do you think about that, Patrick? You think they're going to get rid of the majority of their team and rebuild?
Why not do it now? I mean, what's the holdup? Go ahead. Shit. 1-8. That's all I'm saying. And even then, I don't even think we should have probably won that one. We should be 0-9 right now. We're worse than Chicago.
Patrick has lost all hope. You're worse than Chicago. The White Sox?
Yeah. White Sox went on, 420 game losing streak last year? I'm just saying.
We'll get into a little bit more MLB a little bit later, unless some of these comments come, and then we'll jump right back into it. Let's keep the comments coming. But yeah, so OV broke this record that was set by Wayne Gretzky. Where I want to go with that, Patrick, is so there were people who were upset at the coverage because this is a ridiculous record. Whether you're a hockey fan or not, this is a major deal.
This is a hard record to beat.
Yeah, this was one of those records people thought would never be broken. And here's Alex Ovechkin breaking the record in the same amount of games. Like literally the same amount of games.
Well, one less.
I thought it was like 1,487 games.
Yeah, but it took Wayne Gretzky 1,488 games to get the same amount.
It didn't. It was 1,487. Trust me.
Are you sure?
Positive. I'm here in Washington. Trust me. Yeah, I've heard all
to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. I could have sworn it took Ovechkin one less. I could have swore it took him one less.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're saying in terms of
if he I'm talking about time. Same amount of games to beat it.
Oh, the tie the record. Yes. Yeah. The tie the record.
One less game to tie it. One more game to beat it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So I got you now, Patrick. Yes. But if they need to print their tickets as a souvenir, that's the only way the Islanders make money. It's so terrible. The Islanders have been kind of in a struggle here, but
yeah. I mean, but you know, Islanders, Jets, Giants.
Yeah, it's been.
What do you expect?
Boy, unless you're the Yankees, boy, it's been tough going. Well, hell, I guess the Mets have had success a little bit too. So unless you're baseball in New York, it's tough.
If you're baseball in Atlanta, it sucks.
So here's the thing with it. A lot of people were upset that the coverage of Alex Ovechkin chasing that record. A lot of people were upset at the coverage, saying it didn't get enough coverage. Now, if you want to put some blame somewhere, you could go to the NHL for that. But here's the thing with the NHL. And we talked about this before, Patrick. I just think the NHL has found their pocket. Mm-hmm. They got their loyal fans, the fans who are gonna represent hockey no matter what, and they're good with that. So as long as they have that pocket, they're representing coming to these games. They're like they'll take fans, like fans who might be new to the sport and want to see what hockey is all about. They're willing to welcome in those new fans, but they're not
going out to get them.
Yeah, like they're not going out of their way to try to get them. They're basically saying, this is our game. We like the game. We like the product we're putting out there. So either you like it or not, and you can make that choice, and they're good with that choice. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could get a little bit upset about the coverage because, yeah, again, this is a big deal. This is a huge record here. But the fact of the matter is, it's not, I think the NHL, I think they're not really worried about that coverage as much because they found the group that they know they appeal to. And so, and then like Aaron just pointed it out here too. So Aaron says, hockey in my lifetime has never had its Deion Sanders, someone who's so polarizing and good and verbal that you had to watch. That's probably true. So like it is, and so there it is. Exactly how Aaron said that. If you're like hockey, if you watch the sport, the majority of the times when you are listening to the players talk, they're pretty well reserved.
Yeah, I mean, you got three that I could come off the top of my head that are like a little more outspoken than others. So you got Marchand, you got PK Subban, and you got Crosby. That's about it, dude. And even then, they don't really say a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with you. They don't have that stick out player that says I have got to watch hockey. I mean, look, even as big as this record is with Ovechkin, it's still not something that really demands more attention. You know what I mean? You need somebody like Bo Jackson to come in and do something like that he done, or Deion Sanders to have the mouth he had, or somebody like that that's just going to bring attention to the sport to get that to happen. Hockey's not good. I guess hockey relies on its fighting to get there.
And Dominic said, "Oh, Aaron, that comment hurt." and he names the players. Like you said, you mentioned Crosby. And yes, Dominic, the NHL, so the NHL is not lacking for talent.
No,
they have plenty of talent. And Dominic mentioned the players. You got Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid for the Houston Oilers. Wow. Well, the Edmonton Oilers. Wow. Yeah, I'm going way back into the time machine right there. Woo. The Edmonton Oilers, Austin Matthews, Ovechkin. Yeah, like the talent in the league is, I mean, it's deep. There's all kinds of talented young players coming in there. Let's see. So Aaron says, I think it's that the NHL does not format their offseason in the slightest. The NFL stays relevant with things like the combine and the schedule release. We crave everything NFL. That's true. Aaron also said, when is the last time the NHL ever did something to keep our attention in the offseason?
Well, that goes back on what you said, Charles. Mm-hmm. They're comfortable with their pocket. They're comfortable with staying in their lane. Now, because let's be honest, they have the talent. Be honest with you, I think they have more talent in the NHL than they do in the NBA and probably baseball combined. These guys, I mean, look, think about it. How many people do you know that can skate on ice on knives while shooting 100-mile-an-hour puck and still stay on their feet? Name that. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So and then even then, you got people that are shooting like crazy passes between their legs, all of this stuff, right? So there's a lot of talent in the NHL. It's just like you said, like Aaron said, there's nothing that keeps our attention past the season. Once the NHL, the Stanley Cup is over, hockey
not really hearing about it until the beginning. Yeah, till the beginning of the next season. And on that, on another point that Aaron was bringing up, the marketing standpoint is that like that's something hot take alert. Yeah. And the marketing.
That's right. Clickbait.
That's right. Yes.
I'm bringing it in.
the marketing standpoint is that's on the leagues. The leagues understand those players, whatever the players are, whatever offseason events you have, whether it's free agency, the draft, whatever it is, that is on the league to go ahead and build that up. And the NFL has done a good job of putting these combines in the middle, of using the pro days as another stepping stone toward the NFL draft. And then after the draft, you have your mini camps. And then you go in right in, before you know it, you're going into training camps, and football is back. And yeah,
and you also got the offset leagues, XFL.
Yes. The schedule release. That's another thing. Like everybody is ready for the schedule.
Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah, I know. but
everybody knows the schedule even before the schedule release.
Yeah, the only thing,
they still make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, and the only thing that's really being determined when the actual schedule release happens is the timing of when they're playing the certain teams. But if you follow the schedules, you already know what division is going to play. You know, 6 games is going to be within the division. You're going to play another division from the other conference. And like if you're a division champion, then you're going to play those division champions from the other divisions. Like you already know that. And so it's just one of those things that Dominic's still naming the players.
He's still naming them.
And look, and Dominic, look, we're not disagreeing with the talent. The talent in the NHL is ridiculous across the board. And another thing that is also tight about the NHL is the playoffs. Look, the Stanley Cup playoffs are phenomenal. And I will always tell you, the best environment I have ever attended in sports is a playoff hockey game. It is the best environment. And I have been to NFL, NBA, MLB playoff games as well. That the National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoff game is as intense as it gets.
Dude, I just want to go to the furnace. That's what I want.
So stupid.
That is the sickest pregame show ever. Ever. I don't even like Montreal, and I still want to go there. just to watch that open it. Look, it'd be every bit worth the ticket just to watch that, and then I could roll. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love hockey. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
And see, and look, and Dominic and Aaron, they're talking about the country versus country hockey games. I'll get on that in a little bit, Dominic. That's a good point. And then Aaron says,
I want to go to Michigan when they laid the ice down in one of the football fields.
Yeah. They do one of those outdoor winter classics again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I want it to snow. It's got to snow, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd be pissed if it didn't. It's got to snow.
See, the NHL nailed it with that 4 Nations tournament they did during their All-Star break. Like that was genius. Yeah. And so the NHL, that's the thing with the NHL too. I don't want it to sound like they aren't paying attention to what the other leagues are doing. I'm sure they can see, because like they don't want what the NHL does not want is a situation where players are basically being accused of not trying, of not playing hard, which is what you see with the NBA. And so they want these all-star games, because they know, look, the all-star game, same thing. It's been a glorified scrimmage, 3-on-3s, whatever teams that are happening. But they said, you know what? Let's go ahead and put these 4 nations together. We're going to play US, Canada, Sweden, Finland. Let's go. And those games were nasty. Dominic talks about the Bruins game.
Loved it. That was awesome.
Dominic talks about the Bruins game that was at Fenway Park. That was another winter classic that had happened. And so the NHL does things that do to where there is a sign that they do market, but they're not really worried about the fans, I guess, what they would consider from the outside. They had if they come in, they'll
if you're a true hockey fan, you'll pay attention.
And that's where they're at. Like I think they're good with it. They're doing well,
and I respect it.
Yep, like this is our product.
At least it's not a watered down product like the NBA. The NBA is just horrendous, dude. I just get to the point where I just can't even watch it, and about the only time I ever really do watch the NBA playoffs, dude, it's like LeBron's got to be eliminated. He's got to be eliminated, and then I tune in. But be honest with you, this is all coming from a person that, dude, like, I love college sports. That is my thing. I love college sports. So I'll tune in to the NBA. I tune in to the NFL, MLB. But man, I love college sports, and I watch it all, like men's and women's, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, volleyball, you just name it. I love watching college sports, though.
So looking at some of these comments, so Dominic says, I would love to see the Panthers or Lightning play at the Dolphins or Buccaneer Stadium. I would love. You know what? Did they do a game in Tampa this year? Did they do like an outdoor classic in Tampa? I think they did one in Florida.
I didn't hear one. I mean,
can you check that real quick, Patrick? Like, because I think they might have done one. Dominic said Patrick just wants to see the Bulldogs play.
Exactly. Give me them dogs.
Actually, true. Yeah, because I want to say there was an outdoor hockey game in Florida this year. I can look it up also. NHL game or outdoor game. Both of that. Outdoor game in Florida. Yeah. So, it'll be next year.
Yeah, next year, 2026.
Yep. So Dominic,
the Panthers and the Lightning. Actually, yep. Hey, there you go.
So there you go, Dominic. Next year there will be an outdoor hockey game in Florida. As a matter of fact, it will be two. I think it's supposed to be one down in Miami, and the other one will be down in Tampa. So,
yeah.
Yep. So there you go, Dominic. Coming up next season, look out for that hockey game in Florida, outside in Florida. And then let's see. So, let's see. So yeah. So, Aaron, I'm gonna go back up here. So Aaron said he's never playing fantasy basketball again, because of the sitting issues at the end.
A cross country bowling. Hey, as long as dogs are in it, I'm good. Let's do it. I'll watch it.
You'll watch that curling. Watch that curling team in the Winter Olympics. You did.
It's such a dumb sport, dude.
Dude, yo, look. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Patrick. So check this out, man. I was in a bar, and the people who came in, there was a group of people that came in after me. One wanted to watch the NBA. I think it was the Knicks and Celtics playing, and then the other one said, hey man, they got the curling trials going on. And so he says, ooh, look, watch that action they do once the curling starts happening, and then they got the brush, and they're just in here, they're just brushing. I'm not gonna lie, Patrick, I was locked in. Like I was all about it. I was like, and no, I didn't pull the Charles Barkley Kevin Jr. Porter. He said, dude, I needed Kevin Porter Jr. to win me the title, and he did, but that is extreme stretch. So I never felt before. Y'all feeling it in that fantasy football or fantasy basketball league. Hey, Dominic, what do you mean? Let's keep it age appropriate. I was just talking about going to the bar. That's it. I wasn't gonna say
it doesn't get more PG-6 with Charles. He went to the bar to watch curling. I mean, come on, dude. That's
I didn't mean to do it. They just someone put it on, and I was locked in, dude. Like I was sitting there.
You could sit infants at the bar with Charles. I'm just saying. I was locked into curling.
For those 15 minutes, I was locked in.
I will admit this, dude. The way they start brushing, dude.
Yeah, dude, like,
see, dude, you know they worked out with a shake weight. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That was the part I was locked in. I was like, oh, look at that precision right there.
Have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen those commercials where it shows them doing like something stupid at the gym, and then it shows what they're doing, like in real life, like javelin throwers, and they're doing this thing like this. Yeah. So whenever you see the shake weight, you know that was all curling. Yeah, that was all curling. That was all curling.
I was locked in, dude, for 15 minutes.
Charles, keep it age appropriate, please. Okay.
All right. Well, before we hop on out, let's go over to the NBA and let's talk about a couple of these coach firings, crazy firings, because next week at this time we're doing the NBA preview show that the playoffs will be starting. And
hey, is Stan going to be on that show?
I'm pretty sure he will be. I'll talk to him tomorrow to see.
Okay. Hey guys, you'll get to meet Stan.
Yes, Stan is real cool. Dominic might have met. Dominic, don't be. This is not fake news. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. I was about to say Nikola Jokic should not go to the Lakers. He did not.
No, he ain't going to no big city. At least in Colorado, he can keep his horses.
Yeah, it's true.
He ain't going to no big city.
Yeah, he's all about the horses there in his home country of Serbia. He's got like a whole ranch of them, dude. But in Memphis and in Denver, there were coaching changes coming up at the end of the season. And he said, Dom, we need you on YouTube. Hey, look, but just you can pop onto this show if you want. But let's see. The Grizzlies and the Nuggets, they fired their coach. Denver fired Michael Malone yesterday or today. Fired them today, got him out of there. Memphis fired head coach Taylor Jenkins about a week and a half ago now. But the timing of it, just really weird when you're about to go into the playoffs. And I guess the main thing with this, Patrick, is if you're going to look, your general manager and your head coach, they got to be on the same page regardless, or it's just not going to be a work. And I think what happened particularly in Denver was the general manager is trying to say some of these other players should be playing. And the coach is like, you don't worry about my effing team. All right. I'll coach them the way I want to coach them. And then both of them got fired, basically. and so the chairman and the owners are like, man, look, this argument, what are we doing here? Both of y'all gone out of here. And it's just weird because of the timing that happens. I guess the main thing, if you are Denver, at least you do have someone like Nikola Jokic to fall back on, and you're still all right. I don't know what they're going to do in Memphis, because if you're building around Ja Morant, I mean, that is not a good it's not a good bet right now. And I know we have a dude, one of your friends, Phil Patrick, who comes on there, and I know he's big.
Oh yeah, when he comes on from time to time, he's a Memphis fan.
Yeah, all about some Memphis sports. And I look at it. I mean, if he catches this show, if he's watching this show, I would like to get his thoughts on this, because look, Ja Morant right now, this is a guy, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it right now. And if you're going around and you were making gun gestures, remember, this is a guy who has been suspended for, I guess, brandishing firearms. And you're still out here, you're making gun gestures. If you're Ja Morant, why? Why do you put yourself in it? The actual act itself, I'm not saying this is something that should be suspended, something that should be something that should be frowned upon or whatever the case. That's not really the discussion here. The discussion is, if you know you have been in trouble for brandishing a firearm, why are you still out here on the court making gun gestures?
Yeah,
you have to be more aware than that.
You don't see Jameis Winston scoring a touchdown and running to the store and stealing more crab legs. You know,
right?
Come on. I mean, no, he actually makes a commercial about it.
Yeah.
And gets paid for it. That's the smart thing to do right there.
So let's see. So Dominic, you were right. I seen that too. So Aaron and Dominic made some more. They made some more comments here. So I'm gonna go from the comments about Mike Malone in his press conference. So that was the comment from Dominic. Yes, I saw that press conference where he said the players did not care enough and they wouldn't watch film. And if that is an issue, then you need to look at those players there. Now, part of that might be the message, because sometimes when you're trying to throw that message out there, it could become stale. And Michael Malone is a guy, he's kind of a no-nonsense guy. He's a dude who has no problem being upfront with you. That part I respect. I mean, I feel like you should be able to be upfront with people, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and we should be able to move on with it, take the substance of what's being said and go from there. But a lot of people don't like it if you're coming to their face and saying, man, look, you're not that good right now. And it's, in a lot of cases, it's probably the truth. If you are shooting 0 of 10 from the 3-point line and you continue to shoot 3-pointers, then you should probably do something else different. And if the coach is bringing that up to you, yeah. And if the coach is bringing that up to you, it's probably for the good reason. The reason that you're shooting 0 of 10. Go to the hoop. Do something else. And so if that was happening there, then you have to look at those players as well in Denver. Dominic said John grew up in the suburbs. But his
parents were white.
Yeah.
Come on now. but yeah, I mean, I think in those particular cases, it's definitely. He's a Jameis Winston would buy Pokemon cards.
He is all about some Pokemon, and then
he's got to catch them all, man.
He also said Grizzly should hire Samuel L. Jackson's Coach Carter. He'll keep them in line real quick.
Dude, they wouldn't play. He would chain the doors.
Yeah. Lock them out the gym
until they got their homework done.
Aaron said Milwaukee is still suffering from firing Bud. That is true. I still don't understand why they fired Hoser. And then he said Denver firing their coaches like firing Sean McVay in week 17. And that's exactly what it would be like. You gotta, if you're going to make these changes, it must have been really, really bad, Patrick, if they said they are going to make this change, this draft
at this point in the season,
that like the last week of the regular season. Must have been really bad in Denver.
Yeah.
If that was the case. And in Memphis, I feel like Taylor Jenkins did a good job despite everything that was going on. He never went. Can anyone tell me when Memphis has had a healthy roster? All their players are always hurt. Like John Moran is always hurt.
It's been like that for years.
It's
been like that for years.
And he's still like they're still getting to the playoffs, or at least competing to get there. I don't understand what they're trying to do in Memphis, and after this in Denver, I don't know what they're going to do with that as well. But again, at least Denver has Nikola Jokic, so
yeah, and that's not a bad system to fall back on. Just saying.
All right. Oh boy, so well with a few minutes left, Patrick, what is coming up with Bro Epic? Oh, wait, hold on. Nicola was probably on FaceTime with one of his horses, and Mike probably came down and said, "Hang up the phone." Next day, fired.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably. Hey, you do not mess with Jokic, or you're fired.
Yeah, do not mess with Jokic, and definitely do not get in the way of his horses. What is coming up? What is coming up for Pro Epic?
Well, so
I like the hoodie, by the way.
Yeah, dude, you say it every time I wear it too. I love the shirt.
Where's my hoodie? I want my hoodie.
Well, one day you'll get one.
Okay.
One day. Now we still having bad weather in Florida, man. It's just like rains every weekend, so we haven't been able to do a lot of filming. Most of our filming has been coming inside. So we put a pause on a lot of our 1v1s that is coming up. So we're getting into some indoor challenges. We do have the dodgeball show that came up at Coastal Elite. I have been editing that one, so that one should be coming out in the next few weeks. But we have a Tetris challenge coming up, and we are going into a kickball challenge that we're doing, and it's parents versus kids. The kids want revenge because the parents has dominated their asses for 2 dodgeball games. I'm just saying.
I seen them contests. Yeah, the parents.
Yeah, we do. Our second one, we killed those kids. I was beaming them in the head with dodgeballs. It was great. But now they want revenge, so they want a kickball game against the parents. So I'm going to give them what they want and then beat them again. But yeah, we're gonna try to do filming of the kickball game this month so that we can get that one out next month, and then we have some indoor challenges with like Jumbo Tetris and a couple other things that we got.
So Dominic said I need to earn the sweatshirt. You're right, Dominic. I gotta earn the sweatshirt. Yes, I gotta.
Yeah, Charles gotta earn it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dominic, so you haven't been on in a while. Me and my son actually started a YouTube channel called Bro Epic, and we do a lot of sports challenges and stuff like that. So if you get the chance on YouTube, go and check it out.
Absolutely, and
we do some crazy fun games. Like we had this one challenge where I put the kids in football pads and another one in a big, huge bubble ball, and they had to shoot basketball to win. It was actually pretty funny. It was funny. So yeah, if you get the chance, go and check it out. And we're on all the social medias, so go check it out, man.
Oh goodness! And so for this product, all right, I still have to change the thumbnail.
Yeah, see, Aaron got on you on that, and you still ain't done it.
I know, and your Aunt Tareen said something about it too. So we'll start there, and then also we are on the podcast as well. So again, wherever you guys listen to your favorite podcast, you can catch it on those forums as well. But other than that, I mean, that's it. So look, great show. Thanks for tuning in, Aaron and Dominic. And that is what we are.
Before you say it, Dominic, it is good to hear from you, man. We were actually talking about you, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, probably
wondering where you have been, man. So it's great to see you back on here and hanging out with us. So super excited to see your name when you came across, dude. I was, man, because I hadn't seen you in a while.
I was actually waiting for there's my dude Patrick. F you, Charles. Like it was time.
Well, hey, football season's coming around. You'll hate on the Cowboys soon enough.
That's true. Yeah. I might be back on Dominic's bad side. But no, you know what? The comments you left, man, and it's good to have you back, Dominic. We really appreciate
you. Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate you.
Aaron, hey, same to you, man. Thanks for coming on. Keeping
and
the
bringing
show
that energy, man.
Yeah, bringing all the energy. Both of y'all was great, man, with the energy. So we appreciate it. And that is what we are breathing on for tonight. So y'all make sure y'all go and visit the BOFA Sports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the BOFA Sports Facebook page. Everybody take care. Next week, we will have the NBA playoff preview show coming on. So I think when we do go on to air, the first play-in game will be on. And hopefully we can get one of our friends to come on. He normally comes on around this time because he's a huge basketball guy. And hopefully he gets to come on, talk to us about basketball, talk to all y'all, and then you can hear his opinions, and then we'll argue with them and have fun with them. So outside of that, everybody take care. Have a great rest of the week. And again, thanks for watching and thanks for the comments. We really appreciate it. So y'all take care, and we'll see y'all next week.